Yeah. What's up? This war pony back at it. Yeah. So, in this video, man, this is gonna be part of my campaign going into the election year. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. That's what it's all about, big baby. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Your country, America, is doing nothing about the migrants because right now the Democrats are in office and they are pro-migrant. Pro-migrant. Before this even happened, listen, before this crisis even happened, all of them are pro-migrant. That's why they're not doing nothing now. And time is of the essence. Right now. It's an urgency right now that they're not expressing. The reason why the Democrat Party is not expressing this is because they are pro-migrant. That's what it is. Why they ain't doing? Well, tell me why they ain't doing nothing today, then. Besides that, tell me why they're not producing sound bites of urgency about deporting the migrants. Why Joe Biden is not producing the proper sound bites to produce urgency in the community. Why isn't anyone talking about it? They're barely talking about it. You know why? Because they got too many policies that prove they're in too many moves, legal moves, or lawmaking moves, law moves that show that Democrats are pro-migrant. Let's double park right there. Why you think it's going so slow? Why you think everything moving so slow like it is? Why you think everything is moving like it is, bro? Why like they can't do nothing about it? Now, remember, leadership ain't just Joe Biden. Leadership is just not Kamala Harris. Leadership is not these obvious politicians. It deals with governor. It deals with mayors. It deals with all of that. And all these other people under them that could raise alarms. Because why? Okay, so why isn't that happening? Because the Democrats is in the White House right now. What this means, they're dominating the politics. You understand that, right? They're dominating the politics. Republicans are there, but the Democrats have the White House. So they're dominating the politics, which means they're dominating the perspective on these migrants, which is pro-migrant. That's why Joe Biden is doing nothing about it. You tell me why he ain't doing nothing about it. You tell me why he's going around to Radio City, the little Radio City thing to rev people up to vote for him. He going out to that Radio City facility and all of that, and here in New York. Why they ain't doing nothing about the migrants? Why aren't they talking like Donald Trump? Because migrants are an issue that they support. They support the immigration. They support that. It's already numbers up. You can go look where this present Biden administration, this present Biden administration has made more moves and produced more numbers concerning immigration than Donald Trump. He's already surpassed Donald Trump as far as how he's pro-migrant. The numbers are in. Why aren't all the people talking? Why are you Americans not realizing this? You're supposed to be American, more American than me. Then why you ain't realizing that Joe Biden is actually low-key pro-migrant? I'm gonna use a term that young people use. Low-key, right? They low-key pro-migrant, man. That's what it is. That's what it is, bro. They're pro-migrant. That's why nothing is being done, and time is of the essence. Because and this is the only thing I have only reference I have to compare it to. It is like COVID-19, as far as the migration moves and how it's infesting the countries, as far as the liabilities of the situation, not the ethnicity of the situation, the moves, the position that the migrants are in, and how they're navigating is like a virus that is getting out of control, where they have no housing for them. They have no money, no jobs. They will not have enough jobs and housing for these migrants. So what is going to happen to them? They ultimately are going to have to send them back. So if you was thinking far enough, you would see that right now. You ain't got enough money. You ain't got enough housing and jobs for these people. So why play around is my thing. Why play around, man? Why act like something's going to happen that's not? That's all I'm saying, bro. Why play around? Because look, it looks good to try to act like it's not out of control. To not make a scene and to not make it where you throwing them out there, which comes back to pro-migrant. You don't want to start putting them on the buses and sending them back because it looks like you're not for minorities, you're not for Hispanic and Latinos. See, that's what I'm saying. That's it right there. Let's double park right there. They're probably not sending them back because they're desperate for the Hispanic and Latino vote. That's it right there. That's it right there. They need the Hispanic and Latino vote. So if the Democratic Party, Joe Biden starts sending them back, they don't know how the Hispanic and Latino is going to respond to that. Think about it. If you start doing it and it starts looking like a mess, like they being thrown around, then people gonna flip and change and say, well, we don't like how the migrants are being thrown around. And here's the bottom line. The Democrats cannot afford to do that right now. They can't afford to take the chance of losing the Hispanic and Latino vote. And that's why they're not doing anything about it. Think about it. Think about it. They're already pro-migrant, right? They're already pro-migrant. On top of that, they can't afford to mess around with these migrants and mishandle them, trying to send them back and talking about sending them back, and it looks like they're borderline racist or they're anti-Hispanic or Latino. The whole thing is they can't afford to come off like they're anti-Hispanic or Latino when they need them votes. They need the Democrats need the Hispanic and Latino vote. They can't even produce sound bites about this. Think about what I'm saying. They can't even produce sound bites that almost comes off borderline anti-Hispanic or Latino, which would be almost considered that if you talk about the need to deport these people. They can't dig into it. Do you see? It's too sensitive of a situation because they definitely need those votes to beat Trump. So they rather feel like, look, we might not even beat Trump. We need every single vote. We cannot risk the Hispanic and Latino vote trying to send migrants back, trying to deport them. And that's why they're giving them money. See how it looks good? That's part of the Democratic, listen, you can't be slow. That's part of the Democratic effort to get the Hispanic and Latino votes. Them passing out money in New York is a Democratic effort. Oh, I'm right. I hit that right on the money. Didn't I? The Democrats, that ain't even got nothing to do with the mayor. He's just a player. That's to look like the Democrats are pro-migrant. They're going to get down to what party he's a part of. And Hispanic and Latinos too, that's here, that's not a migrant at all. They're going to look at, well, the Democrats did help the migrants in the right situation. I think that's a move based on, well, let's put it like this. The mayor didn't do it by himself, did he? So it's safe to say it's a Democratic move, right? Yeah, it ain't just his move. He had to have people that cleared that money. He couldn't just say, oh yeah, let me get some money for the migrants out here. He couldn't say that. He had to have Democrats that are pro-migrant feel like it would be beneficial to influence the overall community, the Hispanic and Latino vote, to vote for Democrats. Think about it. Listen, it's something you need to think about. But the bottom line is this, for sure. The Democrats are pro-migrant. In a time where it ain't time to be no pro-migrant. It's not time to be no pro-migrant right now. I'm sorry. No. It's post-COVID. You got to remember that too, man. I mean, if not for any other reason, I mean, it's not an excuse. It's a reason. I mean, man, we just came out of COVID, bruh. Why are you flooding over here for it? If you have not noticed, we were the hardest hit by COVID. And you got migrants coming in? Man. The bottom line is people going to change on, look, with the months, watch, you're going to see. Many Americans are going to change on America because they realize, and it's going to piss them off, they're going to get so mad. They're going to get red. These white people are going to get red. Because you're going to realize that the Democrats are pro-migrant. I'm telling you now before you realize it. Because it's going to get more and more out of control, and you're going to, with every passing day, and you're going to feel like, well, why aren't the Democrats doing anything about it? And it's going to dawn on you, if you're competent of mind, that I think the Democrats are pro-migrant. All I'm trying to do is show you listen, you see my value? I got to listen, I don't ask you to subscribe or everything like that. All I ask you to do, I don't ask for likes or subscribe, so at least give me a little time to do what I do. What I do is all I ask you to see is my value. That's all I need you to see. Me for who I am. Above these people, above these gang stalkers, above these Freemasons and Illuminati that's sitting back watching the migrant situation with everybody else. Those are not people comparable to me. That's all. That's the only thing I ask you to do. I don't ask you to subscribe. I ask you to differentiate me from these suckers out here. You heard me? That's what you need to do. That's all I ask you to do. Differentiate me from also all these YouTuber Christians. No disrespect to them. But I'm in the trenches, bro. I'm talking about stuff that ain't nobody talking about. These pro-migrants. They not migrants, they pro-migrants. You get it? They're pro-migrants. Meaning they're pro-migrant people. They're pro-migrant people, they're pro-migrants. These pro-migrants, you pro-migrants, are the reason why nothing is being done now. You don't think we realize that? See, Trump should be, man, listen, this is why I tell you, man, Trump is not as competent as you esteem him to be. Because I would be taking, if I was Trump, I would be taking full advantage of this. Why aren't they doing anything right now? But see, in Trump world, it's good to just let them be like that. Let everybody see how they are, man. Let everybody see this. Let everybody see this. They probably didn't realize it. But it benefits them. Think about it. If you playing chess with with Biden, you playing chess with the Biden administration. Just let them hang themselves, bro. Just let them hang themselves. Because everybody's going to see clearly they're doing nothing about this. And it's going to be hard. Listen, what I need to do a video about this. I'm going to do a video about this. Biden is making it hard for the whole White House to be Democrat. He's making it hard. Excuse me. He's making it hard for the Democrats to get the White House. He is. He's making it hard for the White House to be Democrat because Americans, when they realize, Democrats are pro-migrant, it's not a time for them anymore. You see where this is going? You see where this is going? These Americans are not going to trust Joe Biden, the whole Democratic Party, because all of them are pro-migrant. Look at even the mayor. Now, listen, I don't have no problem with him personally. But I just want you to pay attention how him giving that money is a pro-migrant move. It's safe to say that, right? It's safe to say that. It's safe for me to point that out. That's showing us what a pro-migrant move looks like from the Democrats. Which means most Americans are going to base it on party. It's not just Joe Biden. Look at the mayor of New York. It's more. It's the whole party, and everybody's going to put it all together. That this is a democratic problem. You're part of the problem. You got the migrant problem, and then you got the Democrats. They're part of the problem too. Because right now they're staying in a pre-migrant crisis situation of being pro-migrant. This is not time to be in a pre-migrant crisis mentality of where we're pro-migrant, where we're going to be the opposites of the Republicans. They love to play this game with each other, playing with our lives and playing with our situations. Playing this, well, we're going to be anti-Republican, well, we're going to be anti-Democrat. And we're going to do this by our policies and by our perspectives and worldviews. This is not time to play that game. And that's what they're doing, guys. Democrats are pro-migrant right now. You see what I'm saying? Low-key. While Republicans are all over getting these migrants out of here. Smart black people have already switched from being Democrat. When you see black people switching from being Democrat, it ain't all about Trump. It's not. It's about Democrats being weak. And one thing Africans do not like is weak people. That's all I'm saying. There's no room for weakness. And they sense weakness in Joe Biden. They sense weakness in the Biden administration. Right? And they ain't feeling that. Nah. Look at him. And all he's getting by the skin of his teeth, is that he's a nice guy. That's the only reason he's not slaughtered. That's the only reason he's not slaughtered. Because he goes around eating ice cream. That was a Jedi mind trick. That was. How we get that picture? Because they want you to see him being like a nice guy, eating ice cream. Look how nice. See how I am? I can take the time to eat ice cream. That's all I'm showing you, man. That's what I'm trying to show you. Now, it's sad. Because people are going to begin to look at it like, we can't be with the Democrats no more. See, see, while I'm talking about this, and I made a video about this, the White House needs to become either Democrat or Republican. Because what happens is, when the Democrat or Republican goes back and forth, nothing is constructed and built. If we would have been totally Republican, the Democrats could have critiqued what the Republicans are doing. and what they're building to where it works for everybody. If it was totally Democrat, the Republicans could have critiqued the White House system, and made it to where it's profitable for everybody. We could have critiqued either a Democratic system or a Republican system. We could have all critiqued it, even you as the community. But if you have back and forth, Republican has it, then the Democrat, it's like a house that never goes fully into activity, into being active. You ever seen a house that's under construction and you see the wheelbarrow out there, you see the planks of wood? If you're a man, you've seen it before. Cement piled up over here, bags of cement. You might see a saw, drills, and it looks like it's been like that forever. That's the system, because the Democrat comes in, the Democratic Party comes in and tears down what the Republicans just did, right or wrong. That's the 7th hour. The Republicans come in and tear down what the Democrats did. And whenever they switch parties as far as administrations, they tear down what the opposite party just did. Soon as the Republicans got in the White House from Obama, they started tearing down stuff, didn't they? Soon as Donald Trump left the White House, Biden administration started tearing down stuff, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they're going to do it again. If Donald Trump gets the White House, he's going to tear down all the stuff that Joe Biden was doing. And that's why you have an unconstructed system. You have an unconstructed White House, if you will, because they have not decided on a party. If you decide on a party, now you can begin to critique it. It doesn't mean a death sentence for the Democrats if the Republicans have the White House, because you can come in and critique it, and the community you can rally the community to critique it, and it work. You can critique it over time and years, and you change. It might, if instantly you ain't gonna change it, but with time you'll get other politicians and people, and you'll begin to critique a Republican White House, because it's looking more like Republicans is the party to go with. I hate to say it, man, but the reason why is because now you have more serious issues that the Republicans are only going to handle. The Democrats are not going to handle these serious issues. All this little stuff, this fluff stuff, is fluff compared to these things that's going on. Democrats are not going to make the grade. No, they're not. They're not. They're going to continue to be liberal and get liberal votes, but really they're too lax. They're too, I ain't gonna say too free, too liberal. It's the difference between being too free and too liberal. They're too liberal. They cater to everybody so that they stay on top. That's how they do. And that's not working anymore. Now you can't cater to everybody and kiss everybody butt as the Democratic community. Now you have to tackle these real issues, and now we see what you're made of, and you're made of nothing. That's all they've been doing. Now look at it for what it is. Look at even Joe Biden that put now listen, hear me out. Joe Biden on Easter, which y'all call Easter, we as real Christians call it Resurrection Sunday now. We don't call it Easter because Easter represents the fertility god. So it's like people don't understand it. That's why you got the eggs, you got the ducks, the chickens, whatever. The bunny, excuse me. You got the bunny, which represents an animal of high sexuality. So it's Easter represents the fertility god. So we as educated Christians no longer say Easter, right? You say Easter. We don't. We say Resurrection Sunday. It's not about eggs and Easter honey, but Easter egg hunts. We don't, now, we don't live for children. Children live for us. Does that make sense? We make life for children. Children don't make life for us. So I don't, people say, well, what about the kids? I well, what? I care more about pleasing God than children. It's not about Easter. It's about Jesus Christ resurrecting. Okay, now, besides that, on what you call Easter, Joe Biden decided to do the transgender day or recognition day thing, right? That's a move, that's a signature move of the Democrats and what I'm talking about. Kissing everybody's butt for the votes. That's the whole reason. That's the whole, why else you think he did it? I'm pretty sure he had other people counseling. But why do you think that happened? Because they want the gay community vote. That's all it is. He's kissing butt for that vote, man. It's election year. That's what it is. You make sense of it. Because it's just it's just night and day difference. Come on, man. Now, I can say if it was Christmas, that's still wrong for us as Christians. Now, us as Christians, we do not. Christmas is a Catholic holiday. That's not a Christian holiday. Let's get that understood. Okay, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, but I understand origins and everything. I want to be educated on origins. The Catholics started Christmas, not the Christians. Okay. I feel like I acknowledge Jesus being born. I feel like if it's my Lord, why shouldn't we acknowledge Jesus being born? We should, and we should take over it and represent it the proper way. I don't think it's wrong with nothing but representing it the proper way. What's wrong with that? That's my take on it. But it is a Catholic holiday. It's not a Christian holiday. See, us in America, we have been so deceived and so religious. And we don't think we're religious, but we are. You are religious people. Religion is doing it any way other than what God told you to do. If God didn't tell you to do it that way, you just created another religion. You can create one today. Well, I want to serve trees. I want to go outside and plant things around. I want to do stuff for trees every day and acknowledge trees every day. And you actually, if you're successful, and a lot of people start doing it, you could actually register it as a religion. Did you know that? That's all it takes is a following. It's for it to be acknowledged as a religion. That's it. In other words, it has to be taken seriously by humanity. And then it can get taken seriously as a religion. You have been creating religions in America because you're choosing, every way you turn, you're choosing to do it other than the way that God wants you to do it. That's why you keep creating religions. You got Christian religions. All these celebrities that say they love Jesus. Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Not wear a cross. Jesus himself said, if you love me, keep my commandments. That was what he said. That's what the Lord said. You're not doing that, are you? So you create your own religion. That's what you do. And you think you have a relationship with Yahweh and Jesus Christ. You acknowledge him as the Messiah. And you think you're filled with the Holy Ghost. But if you do it any other way than God told you to do it, you have just started another religion. Religion is the last battlefront before spirituality. The devil says, oh, they might get into spirituality and start getting some results and get these black people free. Because spiritual warfare is the only way we could be free as black community. That's why we're not free, because we didn't do spiritual warfare. Now you see what I'm doing. Now, if we had done this a long time ago, we would have been free a long time ago. Satan says, oh, well, let them practice religion. They're almost there. Let's create all this religion so they don't get into real spirituality, because if they do, then they get results, things happen, they get blessed. black people come out of slavery, hidden slavery, up to date, present day slavery. They come out of all of that if they just if they come into spirituality. That's why. That's why you are in bondage. You all are religious. I am spiritual. And you thought you had the way, and you did not. Because soon as you thought to become a Christian, this is how the devil gets you. Oh, go to church. And all your Christian family members say the same thing. Well, come to church with me. Now you're a Christian. Now you got to come to church with me. And you go join a religion. When you first came to Christ, you was very spiritual. You notice that? Now most people say that. You notice when you first came to Jesus Christ, the Messiah, you accepted what he did on the cross. You received, now you're reconciled to the Father. You notice how spiritual you was in the beginning? Your thoughts were spiritual. You was free. You was at the beginning, listen, you was at the beginning of spirituality. You notice that, right? It felt good. That's why you still stay connected to God, because you remember when you first was introduced to spirituality. It felt good. You was into it, and you stayed in your room, and you had this spirituality going on, didn't you? And then what happened? What happened? You had a family member or somebody bring you into religion. That's what happened. I guarantee you, for the average American, that's what happened. You got brought into religion. And the devil said, well, we got him. That's another one. Another one bit the dust. Until you start getting alone and you realize, you start fasting, and then now you don't want to go to church. Because now you realize that those people are religious and you're spiritual. You might not articulate it like that, but you realize you doing something different than they doing. Because you became spiritual and they remained religious. This is why Donald Trump can go in front of the White House with a Bible. Go across the street from the White House and go to a church and hold up a Bible. Because he's a religion. He's with a religion. He can sell Bibles, talking about the Constitution and all of that. He just created another religion. This is people trying to make their amends with God, but disrespecting God's people. It's no other way but for you to acknowledge it. Monetarily speaking, I already told you, you owe me money. You're not going to get away by printing out new Bibles. Okay? You're not going to get away that way. You have to do it like men and women. Like real cowboys. Acknowledge what you've done and pay your dues. That's all, not print up Bibles. These people do not live spiritual life. They are religious. Donald Trump proves it. Those are religious people. So you think Donald Trump fasts? You think he goes on a fast? You think he seeks the Lord every day and reads the Word of God? You think he lives his life according to the Bible? No, I'm just asking you the question. Do you think he's a Christian? In other words, a real one, like a lifestyle. You think he lives like that? Listen, man, that's religion. Religion is any time you want to do it your way instead of God's way. You create a new religion. Donald Trump can create a religion. Joe Biden can create a religion. Kamala Harris and anybody else, they all can create religions. That's not meaning, if you're smart, you realize they don't have a connection with God. They just made a religion. That's all it is. Okay? So, what you have to realize is the Democrats is pro-migrant. It fits their narrative. Freedom for all. Freedom, rights for everybody. Do this if you want to. Do that. You want to come here? Okay, we're gonna make laws for you to come here. This is how they sell themselves. Okay, to you as the Americans. Freedom for everybody. But they have not truly freed you as black people have been. You voted for them how many times? They haven't freed you, have they? And technically speaking, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, right? Which was the Republicans. Now, we know it don't mean nothing kind of today, because at the end of the day, most people would think it was the Democrats, because the Democrats are the ones that's trying to help black people. Let's be 100. Let's be 100. This is where it gets tricky. So some would assume, well, the Democrats the one freed black people, slaves, Africans. But when you educate yourself, it was the Republican Party that was in the White House. Okay, and you know, you can get into the other parts, the politics of it and everything like that. You know, but the bottom line is the Republicans are the one that freed the slaves. This is why some people hold on to them, and they feel like other African Americans are ignorant of this, right? But we gotta be up to date and modern, in present day, relevant, to realize really the Republicans really don't help black people. It's just what we know, right? But those issues are becoming, I hate to say it, because black people got enough room to where really you can't vote for Democrats based on how they help black people. Because now you got more serious issues than helping black people. The new issues you got now is migrants. And you don't know how bad it is. That is a threat against all of your safety and security. Yes, it is. It is a threat. And because it's how they think, their mentality. The young criminals, you'll say it don't make up a lot. That's now. That's now. The bottom line is, besides the criminal element, you can't house them all, and you can't get them on jobs. So ultimately, they're going to be a community, whether they're doing crimes or not, that is going to be a liability for the community and the government, both. And the Republicans are going to be the ones that get that cleaned up. So guess what? As long as that migrant situation goes on, everyone's going to trust in the Republicans. It doesn't matter about the issue of helping black people. No one cares about that right now. Because most people say, well, black people are far long enough to first not to care about that right now. I mean, we'll come back to that. That's how some people going to feel. We'll come back to it, because right now, if you really look at it, how much did the Democrat Party really affecting black lives anyway? How much are they really doing for you on a day-to-day basis? That's what I'm saying to you. They're not really doing that much on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so then there's more important issues than that, than voting. Then I'm gonna vote for Democrats because they help black people. But you can't really see where they help you at. But what you see is the Democrats, the migrants are all in the hood, everywhere where black people are, and the Democrats ain't doing nothing about it. So you got more of an issue at hand that calls you to have to put, well, the Democrats help black people, to put that on the burner and vote for Republicans because you have a more relevant issue that's at arm's length that you need addressed by the Republicans. They're not going to do it. The Democrats are not going to be able to pull it off. So guess what that means? As long as the migrant crisis goes on, the Republicans are going to rule the White House. If you're smart, they're going to rule the White House. They're going to rule the White House because you're proving right now that you're not trustworthy to handle this problem. The Democrats are not doing anything. And the reason why is they're pro-migrant. Now, see, this is where you're going to turn on the Democrats at the last minute. This is why they can't send them back, because they want to look more nice to everybody. We're Hispanic and Latino friendly. See, the migrants just pile up and we're cool. They just pile up. They just pile up like a plate of food on at a restaurant, just fries everywhere. They just piling up. We let them pile up. And it's all to get your votes. That's why they do it. This is how bad it is. They put you as Americans in harm's way because they don't want to touch this issue because they're so desperate for votes. You know, they need to get the Hispanic and Latino vote. They're so desperate for it that they're willing to put your community in harm's way just so they get the Hispanic and Latino vote. You make any other sense of it. Why the Democrats are not proactive about handling the migrants right now? Because they're pro-migrant. That's why. And Joe Biden, Donald Trump ain't even saying nothing about it. Donald Trump is not saying nothing about it. But the truth is, it's because they are pro-migrant. That's what it is. And that's why you're going through what you're going through. That's why you can't make sense and you're scratching your head and wondering, why aren't they doing anything about these things? Because they are pro-migrant. You're dealing with the pro-migrant community while the migrant crisis is going on. Worst time it could be. These migrants, they probably know that. Think about it. They know they know now because they know the Republican Party is going to send them back. If they didn't know before they came, they know now. They know now that the Democrats are pro-migrant. You think people are stupid. You think poverty means a person is stupid, don't you? You think they're stupid. They know the Republicans are trying to send them back through Donald Trump, which means for most people outside the country, the whole party is going to be against them. You think about, as Americans, one person. People outside the country is going to think the whole party is going to send them back, which is true. The Democratic Party, they see, is handing out money. They know the person that authorized that was a Democrat. That's all they need to see. They know the Democrats are on their side. And that's how they want them to feel, so they can get these votes from the Hispanic and Latino community. Now, that's people that's not migrants. They want to handle it in such a way that the Democrats say, see how we deal with the Hispanic and Latinos? See how we deal with them? Don't you think that even though they wrong for how they did it, but don't you think we the safest to handle situations? Don't you see how we handle your people? We want your Hispanic and Latino vote. That's what they want you to think. That they handling these people with care because they can't risk that the established Hispanic and Latinos that's here will not vote for them. They can't risk it. But some are going to vote for Trump anyway. I told you this year was going to be crazy. It's already started. And when it comes to what's going on over there in Israel, there's another problem. The Biden administration just signed off how much money? $4.2 billion? Yeah. $4.2 billion. I think that's right. Let's look it up right quick. Let's look it up right quick. Looking up how much money they sent. But it was like food. It was 4 billion for sure though. It was 4 billion. But basically, it was like 4.2 million, 4.2 billion, and I gotta actually bookmark this because I want to make sure I'm able to pull this up because they're gonna be talking about this. And so, like I said, yeah, 4.2 billion. That's what it is. So, yeah, they just sent that to Israel. That's now see, the Republicans are not. The Republicans are going to probably be more lenient. They will still send something, but they're gonna be more lenient. As far as Ukraine, the Republicans are saying they're not going to send any money to the Ukrainians. Okay, but they will send money to probably Israel. Yeah, but they're opposites. You're going to see the Republicans handle all this stuff differently, and they're going to put the Democrats, the Republicans, as Americans, in the White House for the next 3 terms, easy. This one with Donald Trump, another time, and another time. I guarantee you. If they smart, which means, now here's the catch. The streets and all of this stuff that's going on, the vibe is going to be totally different. This is where you lose. Because although the Republicans will help with the migrants and all of that, which I don't believe any party is going to be able to get rid of all the migrants. They'll be able to modify it, right? But how minorities are treated is going to be different. It's going to be different. I can't explain it, but every time the Republicans are in the White House, the catch is minorities are treated differently, and maybe it's because the racist people in the white community, portions of them, feel it's our time. So they're a little more arrogant, they're a little more cocky, therefore they have a little more arrogant actions. Throughout police land, the police, you notice that the police, they act a little crazy when the Republicans in the White House, don't they? You notice that? Look how the police were acting when Donald Trump was in the White House. Look how they was acting. So it's not going to feel good when the Republicans are in the White House. But you have no other way. For minorities, it's not going to be good when the Republicans are in the White House, but you have no other better solution. What comes with that is that the minorities are going to be treated worse in America. And that's not good because there's migrants everywhere. Now imagine the Republicans in the White House. It's going to be almost like the Reagan era. Like the Bush era. That's what it's going to feel like. Like Bush is better to say. The Reagans in the Reagan era and the Bush era, that's how it's going to feel in the White House. Because you're going to have all this stuff going on and Republicans in the White House, and you're going to feel the difference. You're going to feel the energy. The energy in the air. That's the only thing that's going to be a real bad situation, a tragedy, is just the vibration of the Republicans on top in this country. It's a spiritual thing. Oh yeah, it's a spiritual thing. There's a vibration that comes with that. All human beings are spiritual. You put a whole bunch of Republicans in the White House, it's a spirituality that comes with that. That's it right there. It's a spirituality that comes with that. And that's what you feel when Donald Trump is in the White House. You notice the difference? You feel the difference now, right? all of that's going to be gone. But people are willing to trade it for strong leadership. And it's going to be the vibration of the Republicans dominating, people that don't really care about minorities. You know the type of people you can look at them and tell they ain't been around no black people. They ain't been around no black people, no minorities. You can look at them and tell. It's not being racist. You can just look at them and tell. You can look at their picture. This is a Republican, such and such, and here's the picture. Here she is. You can look at her face and tell she ain't been around no black people. Those type of people are going to dominate. Their vibration is going to dominate over the whole community. That's the problem. And vibrations cannot be hidden. You can't hide a vibration. You cannot hide power. You can't hide vibration. And you're only great as your leader. The other part is, I hate to tell you this. Well, not really. With Donald Trump being in the White House, whether it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump, that's not going to be the greatest leader in the world. If you do not have the greatest leader, you are not the greatest country. It goes to somebody else. So Donald Trump is going to be the greatest leader in the world. And if you don't have the greatest leader, do you still feel that you're the greatest country? You are only as great as your leader, because your leader has the power to destroy your country and the credibility of your country. They can do stuff all across the world and destroy a bad leader and destroy the credibility of your country. And therefore, for them being able to have actions over your country and dictate a lot of things, you are only as great as your leader. And you cannot tell me Donald Trump is the greatest leader in the world. Which means either way it goes, guess what, guys? You can't hide vibration. You can't make people be something they're not. You are not going to have the greatest leader in the world. Therefore, you're not going to be the greatest country in the world. This is why all of this is happening to you, because you have now succumbed to having leaders that definitely are not the greatest leaders in the world. It has to go to somebody else. They cannot hide behind the military might of America. These leaders cannot hide behind the technology of America, the sophistication of America. They are not competent. So you are not the greatest country in the world because you don't have the greatest leader. That's how it works, guys. So guess who it's going to go to? Russia or China? One of them, of those two, either Russia or China is the greatest country. And it's right now. So Joe Biden is the greatest leader in the world. Based on him, not him hiding behind military might, not him hiding behind technology and sophistication and all this stuff y'all got going on. All these hidden technologies that y'all got that we don't know about as far as the military and the government. We ain't talking about that. We talk about the competency of decisions concerning Joe Biden. Is he the most powerful, competent leader? So then, even though you don't even want to dig into these other leaders around the world, you're forced to do so. You know that, right? Some people that are smart are starting to venture out. Listen, Joe Biden, the greatest leader in the world, man. On his own. I'm talking about him, his thought process, his actions. Is he the greatest leader in the world? So he is not. So guess what you're forced to do? You're forced to face that besides the military might of America, besides that, besides the technology and the sophistication of the country, besides all the internet stuff and the culture and the entertainment, you're forced to realize that you're not the greatest country in the world. That's why it's been declining. Have you noticed? Since Barack Obama, it's been declining, ain't it? By the time Donald Trump left the White House, which he wasn't the greatest leader, you've been declining, ain't you? You know why? Because you have ceased to be the greatest country in the world because of your leadership. They got you from the head. And it ain't even another country, it's you. It's you. You are not the greatest country because you do not have the greatest leader. So you have to give it to somebody else whether you want to or not, right? It's not, if you can be biased or you can be real. It's not you, right? It's not America any longer the greatest country in the world. You have you have ceased to be that since Donald Trump. Notice, you got COVID, you got all this stuff. Once you got a bad leader, that vibration caused everything to come in. I would even say from the Satanic Kingdom. Once you had a bad vibration on the top, the Satanic Kingdom could do more stuff here in America. Because those leaders are not going to make the right decisions. They have not made the right decisions. They've done a lot of stuff behind your back. Including Donald Trump. Donald Trump had an intentional slow response to COVID. Go look it up. The House Select Subcommittee did a 46-page report on Donald Trump and concluded that he had a slow, intentional response to COVID for political points to get reelected. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? So see, the Satanic Kingdom is able to do more with these new administrations. I told you, Barack Obama was the last real president in this country. It's all over now. These other presidents, so-called presidents, have all kind of motives of putting the white man back on top and putting white people back in their place and making everyone else submit to the white man. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. Okay, so you don't have the greatest country in the world no more because of your leadership. It is either Russia, even now, it's not Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not the greatest leader in the world. So therefore, you are not the greatest country in the world. Newsflash. That's why it feels the way it feels. You see that? And other people are going with other countries because you cease to be great as you once were. And that's by decisions. You're not going to make the decisions as a country as you should, as you once did. Which, that's really what the leader is all about. Collective decisions. And so you cease to be great because of the decisions that you make now. Perfect example. Democrats are pro-migrant. Look at the decisions that they're making. Handing out money. Look at the decisions. They cease to be great. They're not great anymore. So it's given to Russia or China. That's who has it. That's who has it, whether you like it or not. And that's why the energy is the way it is. And then you got the nerve to have gang stalkers out here. While you're ceasing to be great with every second that passes by. With them making it also less great with every second that passes by. This is where you at. The Americans that are in the White House right now, through the Biden administration, are pro-migrant. This is why you got this situation, which is another example of why you cease to be great. You let people come in this country and do what they want to do, and do it how they want to do it. And look how it's happening. They're tearing down gates, for crying out loud. It's supposed to be the greatest country in the world. By your decisions, you have ceased to be the greatest country in the world. Do you see what I'm saying? Look at all this migrant situation. But you're the greatest country in the world. You cease to be great because of your decision making. Your lack of quality decision making. Now, it has to be somebody else that's the greatest country in the world based on the decisions that you are making presently. You see what I'm saying? It is either Russia or China that's the greatest country in the world. You are pro-migrant. in a time when you have a migrant crisis. That's why they're not doing anything about these migrants, because they're pro-migrant and they're not telling you that. This is the other reason why they cease to be great. This is why you cease to be great. They're pro-migrant in a migrant crisis. How can you be pro-migrant in the migrant crisis when these people are running the streets and doing all kinds of stuff? How can you be pro-migrant in the middle of that? By decisions, by giving them money and helping them and all of that. How can you be like that when there's a crisis and crimes and all of this stuff going on? You can't be pro-migrant right now. You have to shut it down and just send them back and not even deal with, talk about, or consider migration right now. And not in that form, not in that fashion. That can't even be considered. All them